Let's face it, when someone mentions isekai or fantasy anime, it's always the same names. Re:Zero, Sword Art Online, No Game No Life, you know the drill. But beyond the mainstream hits lies a world of hidden treasures, anime that offer depth, emotional impact, or just totally unique vibes that flew under the radar. So today, I'm taking you on a journey through 10 underrated isekai and fantasy anime that absolutely deserve your time. Let's start with a slow burn masterpiece, The Faraway Paladin. Unlike most isekai, where the protagonist gets thrown into a chaotic world with a cheat skill, this one begins in haunting silence. A baby named Will is raised in the ruins of a forgotten city by a ghost, a mummy, and a skeleton. Sounds like Halloween? Not quite. It's heartbreakingly human. His undead guardians aren't comic relief. They're teachers, parental figures. Each has a painful history and lessons that shape Will's worldview. Over time, Will trains in swordsmanship, prayer, and magic, not to dominate, but to earn his place in a world still recovering from collapse. There's real spirituality here, moral questions, themes of legacy, sacrifice, and faith, and the world building is rich, medieval and magical, yet grounded. It's not about power fantasies, it's about purpose. This anime begins like many others. A group of people wake up in a fantasy world with no memories, but that's where the cliches end. Grimgar takes a painfully realistic look at life in a fantasy realm. These characters aren't heroes, they're struggling teens. Killing even one goblin is terrifying and deadly. This anime focuses not on battles, but the emotional weight of survival. Every loss hurts. The group dynamics are raw. There's jealousy, fear, grief, and camaraderie. The animation? Soft, watercolor tones that soothe, even as the story punches you in the gut. Think Dark Souls, but with the emotional vulnerability of a coming-of-age drama. If you're looking for real stakes in your fantasy, Grimgar delivers. Here's a hidden gem that swaps swords for scrolls. Ascendance of a bookworm follows mine, a modern-day bookworm who dies and reincarnates in a medieval world where books are luxury items for the rich. Her mission? Make books accessible, even if it means revolutionizing an entire society. She doesn't battle dragons, she battles class systems, disease, superstition, all while slowly introducing literacy, papermaking, and even the printing press. And guess what? It's absolutely thrilling. Mine isn't OP. She's brilliant, curious, and deeply human. This anime is a love letter to knowledge, passion, and perseverance. A fantasy show that teaches you while warming your heart. What if your favorite anime characters came to life, but instead of being fun, they were pissed off at how you wrote them? That's the premise of Recreators, a reverse isekai, where fictional characters enter the real world, confronting their creators about trauma, death, and destiny. It's meta, bold, and packed with philosophical debates about art, authorship, and reality. Characters from different genres, mecha, magical girl, RPG, clash in ideology and power. The action scenes are cinematic, but it's the dialogue that hooks you. Especially when a magical girl accuses her writer of emotional cruelty. Phew. But The 12 Kingdoms is a masterclass in world building that's aged like fine wine. Yuko Nakajima is an ordinary high school girl, until a mythical beast appears and whisks her away to a parallel world of kingdoms, beasts, and ancient gods. But this isn't a chosen one story with instant power-ups. It's a brutal test of character. Yuko is betrayed, lost, and hunted, and she must transform into a true ruler, not because fate demands it, but because she chooses to survive and lead. The world is inspired by Chinese mythology, and the political systems are shockingly complex. You'll find morality layered into every kingdom, some corrupted, some beautiful, all different. This anime is about growth, identity, power, and what happens when an ordinary person is given extraordinary responsibility. If you like fantasy that respects your intelligence, watch it. Looking for something different? Try this whimsical and touching fantasy romance. In the world is still beautiful, Princess Nike has the power to summon rain, and she's sent to marry the Sun King, a child emperor feared for his cruelty. But instead of a political arrangement, something beautiful happens. They grow to understand each other. The story blends royal politics with heartfelt emotional moments, comedy, and serious themes of trauma and vulnerability. It's not flashy, but it's charming, emotional, and full of surprising depth. The world has weather mages, hidden cultures, and courtly schemes, all wrapped in a fairy tale vibe. It's romance with backbone, and yes, the world is still beautiful. Prepare your heart for this one. Somali and the Forest Spirit is set in a world where humans are nearly extinct. Somali, a lost human child, is taken in by a golem, an emotionless guardian nearing the end of his life. Together, they journey through magical towns and strange lands in search of Somali's real family. But deep down, they both know time is running out. This anime is visually stunning. Every frame is a painting, but the true beauty is in their relationship. A father learning to feel and a child clinging to hope. If you love Studio Ghibli-level emotional storytelling, this is a must-watch. Bring tissues. Warning, this one is not for the faint-hearted. Now and then, here and there, may look like a typical old-school adventure anime, but don't be fooled. It's a gut-wrenching tale about war, child soldiers, and the loss of innocence. The main character, Shu, is thrown into a desert world ruled by a tyrant who enslaves children to fight. And while Shu remains idealistic, the world around him crushes that optimism. Slowly, brutally. There's no fan service, no overpowered fights, just raw, emotional storytelling and a haunting portrayal of how power destroys purity. This anime hurts, but it's unforgettable. If you want something real, this is it. Kemono no Souja Erin is a slow but deeply rewarding watch. It follows Erin, a girl who can bond with fearsome beasts in a land where politics, war, and prejudice run rampant. From village life to royal conspiracies, you watch Erin grow with empathy, wisdom, and strength, not through violence, but compassion. The series is long, nearly 50 episodes, but every arc has weight. The themes, environmental ethics, animal rights, identity, power, and responsibility. It's quiet, thoughtful fantasy for mature viewers who want meaning with their magic. Finally, at number 1, an anime that flips the entire hero-verse demon trope on its head. In Maoyu, the demon queen and the hero don't fight, they negotiate. Instead of continuing the war, they join forces to change the world through economics, agriculture, and peaceful reform. Sounds boring? It's anything but. These two talk about ending famine, redistributing wealth, and educating the poor, all while balancing love, loyalty, and geopolitics. It's like if a fantasy world ran on ideas from Adam Smith and Sun Tzu, and yet it still finds time for romance and beautiful visuals. This is fantasy for thinkers, for people who believe that change doesn't come from swords, but from ideas. And trust me, it works.